What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Jess and you're watching Keto Rewind. Thanks for clicking on today's video. I got some fun stuff for you in this weekly update. It's about halfway through the month of December and I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes, testing it out. So I'm starting to get some answers here and I thought I'd start talking about how the Rewind 90 weight loss challenge that starts on January 1st is going to work. It'll be a weight loss challenge of a very different nature on my channel, so it's something we've not done before, and it's something that after an entire 2 years, 10 months, and 3 days of this journey that I've been on, I literally sat down and I dissected that last 2 years and 10 months, and I've written it all down, what worked, what didn't work, and what we're gonna need to focus on going forward, or what I'm focusing on come January 1st. But because there's a lot of changes, I've been testing those changes for the past, 13 days. So anyways, it's gonna be a fun video, but real quick, I wanted to thank the sponsor of today's video, Built Bar. Thanks to Built Bar for being a supporter of this channel. I am a big fan of the protein bars, and mainly because of the fact that they're lower in calorie, high in protein, and keto. So I've been a fan for a while. They're great for when you need an on-the-go keto snack. It's not something that I have every single day, but these are great to have in the house for those moments that I am pretty busy. So I like them because they taste like candy bars without all the guilt. So if you would like to grab some Built Bars, I highly recommend the cookies and cream. My other favorite is salted caramel, peanut butter brownie. So if you want to grab a box of Built Bars, use my coupon code down below, and thank you Built Bar for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into the week 148 update. Okay, so real quick. For those of you that are not familiar with my channel or you're new here, I am not a doctor, not a healthcare professional. I was tired of being morbidly obese for about 17 years. I did not grow up morbidly obese. My weight started after I moved out of the nest. And it went downhill fast. So, and I spent 17 years being morbidly obese, and then one day, I talked to my doctor, and my doctor's like, let's try keto, and I did my research, and I didn't start January 1st. I researched and finally got my plan together and all my ducks in a row and started my journey on February 11th, 2019. So it has now been 2 years, 10 months, and 3 days till today. So, and that's been a long time and that also means that I wasn't just morbidly obese from, say, I got pregnant and had a bunch of kids. I wasn't morbidly obese for like 6 months because something health related put on the weight. I was somebody who literally was, before children, morbidly obese for 17 years. So it's not like I'm coming from a position where I don't get it or never had a morbid obesity issue. I was 309 pounds. I'm 5'8". I'm not sure what my BMI was, but it's something over 40. I was very unhealthy. I was miserable, and I literally finally hit that go button on that February 11th, 2019. I've been through it all over the past 2 years and 10 months. I've had months where I just smoked it on the scale. Huge numbers. I've had months where I've gained. I've had good days, I've had bad, I've had ups and downs, and specifically, I got within 1 pound of my target weight of 179 pounds. I got to 180 pounds on October of 2020. And then I rebounded or yo-yoed from that date until this, basically a whole year in like a month. I've been yo-yoing this same 15, 20 pounds, and it was madness. So that's pretty much getting you in the cliff notes of where I am now. So for the past year, I sat down and I'm like, Jess, what is going on here? Let's think about this. I got rid of all this distractions and I sat down and had a heart-to-heart with myself. And I was like, you know, why am I yo-yoing? You know, like, why am I all of a sudden having these binging days when I never was a binge eater, even when I was 309 pounds? I ate big meals and ate crap, like crap. You know, like my diet was horrendous, but I was never a binge eater then. Like, this is something that happened recently. So as I'm doing my research, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I do research things that I do, and like, I try to encompass and embrace everything about the journey and research what works, and giving you ideas of what to do is a great way to get, you know, some answers. And because we have bio-individuality, which means everybody is differently affected by everything. I mean, there's no one size fits all. And I saw a quote on my newsfeed that's like, if you could actually say that in the fitness, the health, the you know, all of these industries, if you could say there's no one size fits all that makes everybody, you know, successful, there's no money to be made in that. And it's kind of sad because it's the truth. If there's no money, there's going to be, you know, it's just going to be this huge mess of everybody's opinion telling you what you should do. You know, when it comes down to, you've got to experiment on your own body and find out what works. And that's what I came down to. What I was struggling over the past 2 years, 10 months, is this feeling, or this overwhelming feeling of being restricted. I have just felt so restricted. In addition to that, I have not shown true consistency. So those two things are what the entire Rewind 90, or my 90-day challenge, is going to be about, because this is what derails people. So when I started my journey, when I was 309 pounds, I went to this balls to the wall approach, and it was an all or nothing approach, and I took it and I slingshotted forward. So I dropped huge numbers the first couple of months. I want to say I had the bulk of that weight lost in like 9 months. And it was only a little over, to get to 180 pounds from 309, I believe it was like a year and 2 months or something. And then in this journey, so I got to 180, goal weight of 179 when the slingshot went the other direction. So it all started going wrong. So for that past year and, you know, a half or so, I've been on this yo-yo mission. So when I approached this weight loss journey, I thought that keto was going to be the end all be all, one size fits all. It was going to be the solution to everything. While it was for that first initial momentum boost of this journey, keto changed my life. I absolutely love keto. With that said, over the past year, when I looked at what the amount of times I was keto and the amount of times I was not keto, unfortunately, it was way too many times where I was not keto. And with keto, you have to be consistent. You cannot even think about going on the standard American diet or even having cheat days, because it's a slippery slope. If you were an overeater like myself, somebody who was morbidly obese, who's a sugar addict, a food addict, this is not a good combo. You know, so going on that note, I believe now, after the past year, that my direction, I was getting signals because I got within a pound of my goal weight. Like, I did it. And I did it with diet and exercise and pure determination. I got there with keto. And it was a signal to my body that I didn't really want to, I fought this signal for the past year. And that signal was, I used keto for the tool to get my life turned around, to appreciate eating good, healthy foods again, not being afraid of fat, you know, realizing that all carbs are not good, and to focus on protein. So like, I learned all that, but I was getting signals for that, but I was not recognizing I entered into like the phase 2 of the journey, like the home stretch, the point when you get to your goal weight, and what do you do now? So when I started the keto journey, I thought keto was going to be keto for life. I named my channel Keto Rewind, you know, like I was that serious. But after the past year, the yo-yoing, that overwhelming feeling of restriction, and the inconsistency because of feeling so restricted all the time, stressing myself out about it and being bullheaded, I yo-yoed for an entire year. I was supposed to get to my goal weight, you know. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. Snotty kids in the house. It's not COVID, it's just a cold. But I realized that I can never eat the standard American diet. It got me to 309 pounds before I got a handle on it. 309. I also realized that stressing about staying under 20 net carbs to be in a metabolic state of ketosis was also equally stressful and kind of hard to do. You know, like I got to live in this body for an entire year and enjoy the fruits of my labor, you know, and live again, and realize I'm such a social person. You know, like my friends pool is enormous. Like I'm constantly doing fun things and living, experiencing life. And it's like, it's so rewarding. So, but it's this overwhelming feeling that I can't do this. I can't go to, you know, this restaurant because they have nothing keto. And it's just been this huge weight on my shoulders. So I was like, well, what am I going to do here? So then I realized that all of these red flags and signals and all these things I've been ignoring because I'm bullheaded and I don't give up and I'm determined, and if I'm going to say something, I'm going to do it, was kind of like an obvious answer. And what is the obvious answer for me? Low carb. Like, why am I stressing about trying to stay in a ketosis and be so restricted? And why did that not work, or for the past year has not worked? And why did the standard American diet work? Because the two answers are clear. One's way too restrictive, and the other one is no restrictions and a free-for-all on sugar. So the happy medium, or the choice that I see myself now embracing, is a low-carb lifestyle where it's literally a couple more carbs in the day, but I feel so much better. So what I've been doing the past 13 days is I've bumped my carbs up to 50 net carbs. And if I could tell you how much of a game changer that has been for the last 2 weeks, I could not stress that enough. I feel so much better. It's like that weight's been lifted off my shoulder. Eating 50 net carbs per day does not mean it's the standard American diet. It means I'm allowing myself, based on my lifestyle, my activity level, I work out, you know, and what works for me is allowing myself a couple extra carbs, but healthy carbs. And I'm not saying those carbs are Lay's potato chips, fried chicken, you know, that's not what I'm saying here at all. Standard American diet does not work. Period. It is not nutrition. Your plate should be full of healthy fats, colorful vegetables, and a huge portion of protein. That is a well-balanced, fueled, like body fueling plate of food. And it has been like, oh my God, I hate that I resisted it so long. And I did it because I'm a keto channel. So if I go low carb, you know, it's like, oh, that's just horrible. You know, like, how could I do such a thing? But it's my channel, like, and it's my weight loss journey. And I don't feel like I have to justify what I'm doing to get to my goal. And my goal is I want a lifestyle that is effortless, that is not too restrictive, but yet does have checks and balances, where it's not the standard American diet. I mean, if you're talking 30 extra carbs a day, that's not much. But it allows for a lot more vegetables, and that's the thing. So feeling so restrictive thing in keto made me start having food. What is the word? I was getting anxiety about tomatoes, about onions, like red peppers or yellow peppers, because in keto you're only supposed to have green. But like we hate on the red and the yellow and the orange pepper. Let me tell you something. Tomatoes and red and green peppers never were the reason I got to 309 pounds. They didn't make me fat. They did not make me morbidly obese. But you know what did? Loads of sugar, loads of processed foods. That is what made me 309 pounds. So it's like, why am I hating on a tomato or purple onion just because it doesn't please the keto community that embraces only green leafy vegetables? A vegetable is amazing. You know, like it's not to be hated, you know, like I'm not saying I'm going to be, you know, pounding potatoes, but I'm saying I'm going to have a nice colorful plate now. And because of those extra color in the vegetable category, for instance, they're a little higher in carb. Sure, no big deal, but those vegetables are not why this country, or, you know, this country has an obesity epidemic. It's because of processed foods and a white plate of fried chicken, french fries, mashed potatoes, mashed, you know, that's the problem, and that's where the anger should be towards, you know. So in order for me to move forward, I needed to basically come up with a solution that did not include the standard American diet, but wasn't so restrictive that I couldn't stop thinking about food and what's next and how do I stay in ketosis, and because my cortisol levels must be through the roof this year, and that's not any good either. So yes, keto was an amazing tool. It got me to realize nutrition and how much we need nutrition, and how little we don't need foods that don't have any nutritional value. So basically going forward, I'm still, obviously, it's important to point out that because I am now considering myself more low carb, being that I'm in kind of phase 2 of my journey, or the home stretch, or how I will maintain the loss that I did with keto, it is important to note that keto and low carb is not that far apart, you know. So I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and that's fine, but I want to urge you to find other channels that align with your health goals. Low carb and keto isn't that big of a stretch, but it's what's working for me. So yeah, not that I'm never gonna have a keto recipe again, like come on now. Over the past 2 weeks, I've lost 8 pounds. I don't want to give you the full, you know, what I've been doing and all that stuff other than the main cliff notes. I've bumped my carbs to 50, and I focused on protein, and then fat just fit in, you know, right after that. But I've lost 8 pounds, you know, and it feels so good. But the reason that sold this or drove this point home to me is I have been dieting, using that term loosely, for 14 days now, and it doesn't feel like I did it at all. And I haven't felt that way since I started the journey back in 2019. So the fact that I am losing weight and it's working and I don't feel restricted means I'm onto something. And that's why I've chosen to take this path. Now, so the Rewind 90 is not going to be something like I've done in the past. It's going to be focused on things like consistency and restriction. And because those two things are what derail us, and how to overcome those two things is what we need to be focusing on, because the benefit of those two things, or the bonus that comes naturally with these two things, getting these two things worked out, is weight loss. So it's like that bonus that comes in, you know, you did really great on this project, and then you get a bonus for just killing it or slaying it. That's the weight loss part of the challenge. So I'm going to dive in way more specifics. I'm going to dive into way more specifics on the Keto Rewind 90 challenge, but I didn't want to make this video ridiculously long. I just wanted to get like what's been going on for the past 14 days. What did I learn about the past 2 years and 10 months about being morbidly obese and getting it together? And that's what this channel is about. This is not about your weight loss journey. This is about this entire channel is my weight loss journey. What worked for me, what didn't work for me, my tips for you so that you can save yourself all of this. Because it's literally been 2 years and 10 months and I'm not in my goal weight. So if you can do this, following some stuff or avoiding stuff that didn't work for me, maybe your journey wouldn't take as long as mine has. Or maybe you can have the success too if you've tried some of these things, but you would never know if something works or not if you don't try it and test it for yourself. Because like I said, bio-individuality is a huge factor here. We all are affected differently, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach to weight loss. You can't make any money off of that, but you know what? I just said it, and I want you to know that. You have to find out what works for you and what you can stick to. There's no point in trying to lose a single pound until you can figure something out that you can live with and make a true lifestyle. Because diets don't work. It is a lifestyle. So I hope this video kind of made sense. I understand the comments are going to be explosive about my decision to go from keto to low carb, but I truly feel that my fans will understand where I'm coming from. And I bet a lot of you also will know how it feels to be so restricted all the time and have that over your head all the time and know that you can't have all these things and it just makes you want them more. And like just battling that restriction is so hard. I mean, losing weight in itself is hard. Then you add in all the noise that's in your head about it. It's no wonder it's so hard. So my true goal here is to share what's working and what didn't work. And I promise, you may be skeptical right now or be upset with me, but I promise after you hear what I say in the next 2 weeks of videos, you're gonna get where I'm coming from. I'm not the only one here that was truly morbidly obese with a food addiction and sugar addiction that went to keto and felt it so restrictive that now I'm starting to lose hope is it sustainable. I can't be the only one that feels that way. But I am somebody who will never give up and I will find a solution, and I think I finally found it. Which I honestly couldn't be more excited about, because I wanted to say in this topic, I wasted a whole year fighting the fact that I'm supposed to be a keto channel when all along my body said, all right, just bump your carbs up a little bit. No big deal. We know what didn't work. We know what didn't work. Let's find a happy medium and move on. And it's like, but to finally accept that truth and move forward with this feels so good. So, and I can sleep at night and I feel so much better getting that off my chest. So that is all I have for you today, folks. I will see you at the next one. I'm Jess. You're watching Keto Rewind. Thank you, Built Bar, for sponsoring this video. Use the link below to order. Bye-bye.